celebrating our fathers on this Father's Day. So it is a special edition, and I want to welcome you once again. So let me know where you're watching from. Please call, send a message, let people know that already we are live to celebrate our fathers on this special day edition. And so today we're diving into a very, very important topic, which is 15 ways fathers can secure their family's future, both legally and financially. I'll be speaking from the angle of a certified financial planner and also a legal practitioner. So welcome our fathers, welcome our brothers, welcome our sons. As long as you're a man, whether you're already a father, you are newly married, you have children, grown-up children or little children, this video is for you. Please let me know once again where you're watching from. Tell me also in the comment section what you have done or what you are doing or what you have planned to do to secure your family's future, both financially and legally. So why today's topic? Why a topic for men? Why a topic for asking men to put their house in order? Because simply that is what I am saying. We're giving tips, we're giving ways, we're giving strategies for our men to secure their family's future financially and legally. Let me say that the role of a father is more than just provision. It's about protection for the family, it's about planning for the family, and it's also about purpose. It's about purpose. It's not just for today. What we're talking about is not just for today. You know, just the provision that you are giving to your children, you're giving to your wife, you're giving to your family. It's also about the future. What happens when you are no longer around? You know, the things that you have worked for, the things that you are preparing for, what happens to them? I'll say that fathers, they carry a great responsibility. A great responsibility, not just for them to feed us, not just for them to educate children, but also to secure the future beyond today. We know that today's world is full of all forms of uncertainties. You have the economic instability, you have the unexpected life events such as health challenges, you know. And I tell you that one of the best gifts that a father can give to his family, his wife, his children, even his grandchildren to come, is for him to provide security. And when we talk about security, I'm talking about financial security, I'm talking about legal security, which is also legal protection, and also to leave a very strong legacy that speaks even after you are gone. Sadly, but true, many families are left in confusion and crisis, especially when the father or the father figure did not plan ahead. Yes, as a lawyer, I have seen a lot of incidences. I've seen a lot of families in crisis just because the head of the family, the fathers, the husbands, did not put a plan in place for when that period when he will no longer be around. While he was alive, he was a great provider. He protected his family. He gave them whatever they wanted. He gave them virtually the best that he could provide for them. But what happened immediately after the man died? We saw a lot of things coming up. And this is one of the reasons why I have come up with this topic. That while we are celebrating our fathers, while we're wishing them happy Father's Day, while we're saying we love you, we appreciate you for all that you are doing for us, we're also saying in the same vein that please secure us financially, secure us legally when you are no longer around. That does not mean that this scenario that I have painted will be your portion. And the reason why you will not have such a story, or will not hear such a thing concerning your family, is when you put your house in order, when you secure your family financially and legally. So as we celebrate our fathers on this Father's Day, we're not just celebrating you with words, but we also want to celebrate you with wisdom. So I'm looking at financial foundation, the financial security, how you can protect your family financially and legally. And I'm going to start with the financial foundation, the financial security. And this is the first thing that a father needs. It is a strong financial base. Because without this, the Bible tells us that where the foundation is faulty, what can the righteous do? So when the foundation is shaky, then it will be difficult for us to accomplish or get anything done. So your finances, your financial foundation must be in place. And what are the financial things that we must put in place to ensure that you are able to secure your family's future? The very first thing that you must do is, as a father, you must have a financial plan. Your plan is what tells you what you should do, especially with your income, especially with your money. It's not enough for you to just go to work, earn that salary, earn that income. No, you must have a plan for it. And that is why we are saying that, yes, while you are providing for your family now, you're paying your children's school fees, you're paying for the accommodation, you're ensuring that your family is in a good place. Some fathers ensure that their children go on vacation. You have very beautiful thoughts for your family, but you need to have a financial plan. You have to consider that this income that I'm working for, this money that is coming to me, whether in form of salary or in form of my business, I must have a plan, and that plan must include the present and also the future. So what is your plan for the income that comes to you? What do you do with it? How do you spend that money? Do you only spend that money for the now? Or do you have put into consideration that tomorrow will come, that a future will come, that I have to take care of myself, my wife, and also my children? So this is the foundation for us. You must have a financial plan. Let me read in the comment section. Do you have a financial plan? Do you only spend for today, or do you spend bearing in mind that tomorrow will come? So all fathers here, whether you are watching me now live or you will watch this replay, please have a financial plan. It is something that you must do before other things can fall into place. You cannot afford not to have a plan, no matter what, how small. What happens in the case where there is an emergency? What happens in the case, when that job is no longer there? You must have a plan. The second thing that you must do, the second foundation, is that you must have a budget. Yes, you must have a budget. And simply, a budget is, what helps you. It is your spending plan. It is what tells you how you must go about that money that comes into your hands. A budget will take into consideration your present now and will also take into consideration your future. Don't forget that we have said that you must have a plan. That plan will come into life when you have a budget. When you plan, when you say that, okay, these are the income that is coming to me, this is how we are spending that money. I want to give you an exercise quickly. How much comes into your hand? How many sources of income do you have? What I mean is, what are the things that bring in money to you? If you're a salary earner, is that the only thing that brings in money? And then you ask yourself, what are the things that take away money from you? What do you spend money on? What are the expenses that you have as a father? This is where the budget comes in. It is the budget that will give you a shot, it will give you a snap. It will let you know what is coming in. It will let you know what is happening. How your money flows. I always tell people that cash flow is very important. I mean, the movement of your money. Money comes in. How does it go out? If what comes in is more than what goes out, fine, you're working towards a secure future. But where the money that comes in is less, or you spend more, what goes out is more than what comes in, then you're also creating a future, but you are creating a future that is not going to be financially secure. So the first thing is to have a plan for your money. The second thing is that you must create a budget. See, if you don't have a budget already, you must create one. The first one will not be perfect because you have to align, you have to put things into consideration. You would have a budget that you have just, okay, I think this is what I will need. That is if you don't already have a budget. And then as the days go in, you have to start tracking and putting into place. Okay, what did I actually spend money on? What do you know? You have to put it into place so that you have your budget, what you have budgeted for, and you actually know what your actual budget is. This is what will help you. Don't forget, we are looking for a way for the fathers to ensure a financially secured future for their family. The third thing you must do is that as a father, you must start saving. You must be intentional about this. Some fathers, when I talk to men, when I talk to couples, and I ask them, do you have a savings? They tell me yes. Sometimes, yes, we have savings. Yeah, sometimes, oh, no, we don't have a savings. See, if you're going to have that kind of future that we are talking about here today, you must start to save. Saving is what will save you, especially in terms of emergency. I want to tell you that emergency will come. You might not know when, but emergency will come. And that is one of the things that saving money does. It helps to cushion you. It serves like an umbrella, for that raining day. So you must have a savings. You must be disciplined. You must be consistent. And then you must be intentional when you start to save. It may not be easy, especially if you are just starting out. But this is one thing you must do. This is one step that you can help your family financially. Have a savings. But I must say that having a savings is not enough, because saving money will not make you wealthy. Saving money will just help you. It will just cushion that emergency. It will just cushion that pain financially when something just comes up that it is unexpected. The real deal starts when you start to invest. And that is the fourth thing that you must do. You must start to invest. Investment is what grows your money. All the while you have been working for money. You have been working for money. You go to work 8 to 5 every day. In fact, let me ask you, how long have you been working? 1, 2. How much is your salary? 3. How much do you have in your savings? So let's use this example. If you have been working for 5 years and your salary has been 100,000, I want you to multiply that 100,000 by 12. When you multiply it by 12, that is how much? 100, that is 1.2. 100,000 times 12, that is 1.2 million. And then multiply that 1.2 million by the remaining number of years that you have worked. My question to you as a father is, how much do you have saved? How much do you have invested? Investment is what puts you to that journey where you can create a financially secured future for your family. Start investing. You can't work all your life. It's not possible. One day, if you're working for somebody, they will tell you, thank you, your services are no longer required. Or maybe you have reached the mandatory age whereby you can no longer work. What will happen then? So at this point, as a father, whether you are a young father, you are just married, you have teenage children, or you have children who are grown up, please start thinking assets. Start thinking investment. What are the things that I can put my money into that would generate money? Don't forget, I said there is a difference between saving and investing. Saving is just the starting point for you, especially for those who don't have that money. They don't have that bulk money to start investing. You need to start from somewhere. And that is why I also said that you must have a plan for your money. There are different kinds of savings, but we won't be going into that today. There are different kinds of savings you should have. But suffice for it for today is that you must have savings. And from that savings, you must move into investment. Investing is what helps your money to make more money. You wake up in the morning, you put on your shoes and go to work. What investment does is that investment put on the shoes, work shoes for you, and goes to work. It works 24 hours. Your working period is limited. You have the time that you sleep, you have the time that you wake up, you have the time that you go to work. But investment says no. I am not prevented from working during the night. I am not prevented to work. It just goes on. It makes your money work for you. And at this point, I want to say this. Even while you are investing, please beware of Ponzi schemes. Those so-called investment, they are not investment that tells you that if you put so much amount of money here, we'll return it to you 100-fold. Oh, just do this, we'll give you so much. Beware of such. They are not investments. We call them Ponzi schemes or scams in the financial world. Number 5 thing that you must do, one of the things you must do financially. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. What's the lowest amount you can use to invest? There are so many kinds of investment, but with as little as 5,000, Toby, you can start investing. With as little as 5,000, you can start investing. And we'll talk about investment fully in another video. So you can start with 5,000 and you can be consistent with it. When it comes to you also investing in foreign shares, stocks, US stocks, you can start even with less than 5,000 because you are able to also buy in fractions. Unlike in Nigeria, you cannot buy in fractions. But when it comes to the US stock market, you can buy in fractions. You can buy with as little as $1. As long as the fraction you want to buy, you can buy that of $1. So you can buy in fractions. Investment is not difficult. People think that you must have a lot of money before you start investing. That is not true. You can start investing with as little as 5,000. You want to start buying US shares, US stocks, you can start even with less than 5,000 because you have the capacity to buy in fractions. Yes, so the next point, the number 5 strategy, financial strategy that a father must have is also insurance. In this part of the world, people don't believe in insurance. But as a certified financial planner, I can tell you that one of the ways by which you minimize your risk, one of the ways by which you minimize, you reduce your risk financially is through insurance. Insurance helps you, it protects you when eventually that thing that you insured against happens. For instance, most people here are car owners, and the law makes it mandatory that you must have a minimum of at least a third-party insurance. What happens? So that in event that there is an accident, you are able to protect that third party, that other person, from harm, from the accident. So what happens is that when it happens, your insurance company comes in and then takes over your liability. That is what insurance does. So as long as you do it properly, people believe that, insurance doesn't work. Insurance works if you do it properly. Number 1, if you pay your premium as at when due. You understand? And there are also conditions, and that is why I always tell people, when you want to, especially when you do not understand, get your lawyer involved. Let them interpret to you and tell you that this is what this particular insurance is all about. Some people have come to meet me in the past to say that, look, I'm doing this insurance. This insurance promised me that in addition to this, there is also saving. I read through truly to see whether there is also the additional benefit of savings. So insurance is key. It protects you. And the kind of insurance that I will encourage you to have as fathers are, one, health insurance is very key, because one sickness can wipe away all the, the money that you have kept aside, your savings. One illness can wipe it out. But if you have an insurance for your health, and in the event that sickness or something that you insured yourself against comes, then you are protected. You are protected. And then another form of insurance that I encourage you as fathers to have is life insurance. That life insurance is not targeted towards you for yourself. Life insurance is usually targeted towards the loved ones that you have left behind. Your wife, your children. It could be for your dependents as well. It could be for your aged parents. It could be, as long as you have stated who you want to be the beneficiaries in that insurance policy. So when you carry out an insurance, there is also a place whereby you are going to put there who will be your beneficiaries. Those are the people that life insurance will be meant for. So I've talked about insurance, having health insurance, having life insurance as well. And if you are a business person, that you are into goods, I will encourage you as well to insure those goods. In the event that there is a fire, disaster, your goods are protected. So another thing that I will say, another financial foundation that you can also put in place is also to save for your children's education, especially if you have young children. It is a financial strategy that will encourage young parents to also put in place. Have a savings educational plan for your children, even if it's small, no matter how small. Don't forget that they say that little drops of water makes a mighty ocean. So the seventh one that I want to look at is that you should teach your children, especially your children, about money. Money is not just meant to be spent. Money is meant to be saved, yes, spent, invested, and also a portion of it to be given out as well. So teach your family, your children especially, and also your wife, especially if she's not literate about financial matters. Teach them, carry them along. That is one way that you can also preserve your legacy, the things that you have worked for. If your child understands that I need to start creating assets, that I cannot be spending the money that comes to me upon on liabilities, you are teaching them, you are training them, so that in the event that you are no longer around, that business that you left for that child will continue to grow. So you need to teach them about finances. Another financial foundation to secure yourself financially that you have to do is that you must prepare for retirement. That is the eighth thing. Prepare for retirement. A lot of people, before they start work, they usually have entry strategy. They tell you, oh, I want to work, I want to get this kind of job, I want to do this, I want to do that. The question I usually ask people is this: what is your exit strategy? What is your plan? I don't know how old you are, because I know that men with different backgrounds, with different ages will be watching this right now. So what is your exit strategy? What is your plan when you leave that job? How do you intend to take care of yourself and your family? Because if you do not plan for your retirement, then it means that your future will suffer. So open a retirement account and start working towards it. If you are in employment, the law mandates that Your employer must have a retirement plan in place for you, whereby it is contributory. They contribute a fraction and you also contribute a fraction. So ensure, ask questions. If you are not sure, ask questions. Do we have this in place? If they have it in place, ensure that it is functional. It is functional. Ask questions. Oh, what? Because you are the one that would choose which pension funds administrator that you want to use. So ask questions. Be financially literate. So those are the 8 ways that you can secure yourself financially. I said have a financial plan. I said budget is very important. The income that comes to you, budget. The third thing I talked about is that you must also start or grow your savings. Grow or start if you have not started. Grow your savings. The fourth thing we talked about is you must have investment. Think assets, not just liability. Because what happens is that liability takes away money from you, and asset is what grows your money. So what have you been spending your money on? I want to read from you. Is it an asset or a liability? When you ask people, there's this question that people say, is my house that I live in, that I built, is it an asset or a liability? What determines whether an asset, something is an asset, is not the thing itself. What determines whether a thing is an asset or liability is for you to see the movement of cash. Is it bringing income to me, or is it taking money away from me? When it brings in money for you, then it is an asset. But where it takes money away from you, then it is a liability. Don't forget that. The fifth one we talked about is that you must have an insurance. The sixth one is that when you have young children, you must start saving for your children's education. Another one we talked about, the seventh one, is that you must teach your children about finances. They must be financially literate. And the final one on this side of financial strategy is that you must have a retirement plan. Have a retirement plan. Retirement comes in different forms. We'll certainly take it as a topic another Saturday and discuss all about retirement. Just as we're going to take savings, we're just going to take investments. What kind of investments you can go into? How much do you need to invest? Nigeria, can I invest outside of Nigeria? Can I invest in US? Can I invest in the UK? These are things that we're going to talk about when we are looking at investment as a whole. So we want to look at the other side. We talked about protecting yourself legally and financially. We have looked at 8 points under the financial protection. Now we want to look at how can you protect and secure your family's future legally. See, I want to say that love is protection. Love is protection, and legal preparation is one of the strongest shields that you can have. At this point, I want to give an example that just comes to my mind now about a man. A man, let me call, for confidentiality reasons, let me call his name Mr. Ade. Mr. Ade was he was a rich man. I won't use the word wealthy man, because there is a difference between a rich person and a wealthy person. He worked in a fantastic company, an oil company, and he was paid very well. So they lived in a beautiful area. The children went to the best schools. They usually would go on vacation. He even started a side business. He brought some lands. How I got to know them was when the man fell terribly ill. He felt terribly ill, and he had to, him and his wife had to come and see me, trying to put their house in order at that time. Unfortunately, before we could do anything, the man passed on. And unfortunately, because he passed on, his house was not in order, despite the fact that he worked for his family while he was alive, and they had a good lifestyle while he was alive. Immediately the man died. That was the end of it. One, because the woman did not know, Mrs. Ade did not know where the property that the husband had bought. She knew nothing about it. She didn't know about the man's money, where he had them. She knew that the man brought some property. Where the documents were, she didn't know. Family came in, the man's family came in, and they just tried to mess up the life of the wife and the children. What are you doing to protect your children and your family? The legal side of it. The first thing you will do as a father is for you to put your documents in place. Your documentation is very key. Those insurance policies that we talked about, where are those policies? Where have you kept them? Your mandates, bank mandates. Who is your next of kin? Who are your beneficiaries? It's important that you have these documents. You have bought property. You have bought landed property. Where are the receipts? Where are the agreements? You have paid money. You have a portion, a part in a business, somebody's business, and the person has given you an agreement that for giving me so amount of money, I am giving you this amount of shares in my company, because it's a private company. So where is the agreement? Where do you have them? We're talking about your documents. Document is key. See, where there are no documents, it is difficult for you to fight a cause legally and win it. Saying, oh, I did this, because this is your word against the other person's words. So you must have your documents in place. And then the next thing we're looking at under the legal protection is that you must update your documents, especially after major life events. Maybe when you had those documents, maybe you were still a single man. You were not yet married, did not yet have children. But immediately your life circumstance has changed. It's important that you update those documents. Update them. Your next of kin, maybe the person you put there is no longer the person you want, to be your next of kin. Your beneficiaries, what about them? Maybe it was just your friend, or maybe it was just an uncle or a cousin that you wanted to, to benefit from the things that you have. Now that you are married, certainly your children will also be part of your beneficiary. So it's important that you update your documents, because if something should happen and your documents are not updated, it means that your intention was as it is, and that is what the law will carry out. So, and put your documents together, update your documents as at when due. And then the third one under this part is that you must name your beneficiaries on accounts, your pension schemes, your insurance. Who are your beneficiaries? Let me say at this point that a beneficiary is different from a next of kin. A beneficiary is the person that you want to inherit, to get that thing that you are doing. Maybe you have a property, you have a house, and then you want so and so to benefit. That is the person you will name as your beneficiary. That person is different from your next of kin. I think I'm going to do a video on this one. The difference between a beneficiary and a next of kin. They are two different people. A beneficiary can be your child, can be a child who is a minor, while a next of kin cannot. Your next of kin, you cannot name somebody as a next of kin where he is under 18 years. And what is simply the function of a next of kin? He is the person that will that will act in your stead, or a period where you are not able to make decisions by yourself, or in the event that something happens to you. He's the person that maybe your company or your bank or the insurance person will get in touch with. It is your next of kin who they will relate with, and who will then relate with the family. So when you are taking a person as your next of kin, be very careful. That is somebody that you can trust, somebody that can act in your stead. So we've talked about that one. Another one that we want to talk about under the legal protection is that legalize ownership of your properties. Yes, legalize them. Don't just say that, oh, I have a land, I bought a land from somewhere, and then all you have is just receipts, no agreement, and other legal documents that you must have. At this point, you need to get your lawyers involved, because you want to ensure that that property, that land that you have bought, number one, is not under encumbrance. I mean, it is a land that can be bought and can be purchased. So ensure that you legalize all your ownership of all your properties, the land that you have, the houses that you have built. Ensure that everything is legalized, because if they are not, and anything happens to you, then just know that those things that you thought that you have worked for and you have kept for your family, in the eyes of the law, you have done nothing. So legalize your documents. Do not say that, oh, I'm just a boy. Oh, I'm just in my 30s. Oh, I'll do that when I'm 40. Don't put your family in danger. Do it now. Be wise. And that is why we're teaching this morning. Put your house in order by legalizing all your documents. Legalize all your documents. Ensure that it is the proper way that the law says it must be done. Because if your house is not in order, then it means that the course of the law is what would take place in administering anything that concerns you. So when you legalize your documents, you are able also to protect your family from bad contracts, because there are some contracts that put your family in bondage. And that is why you also need that a lawyer helps you to go through those documents. If you have already signed those documents, read through, see that what is there will not put your children in bondage. Because some agreements will say that, okay, from and also it passes to the successors in title, people after them. So ensure that you protect your family by legalizing your documents and ensuring that those things do not put your family in bondage. So read through documents, get your lawyer to be involved as well. Another way that you can protect your family is to have a power of attorney. And this is usually applicable when it will help you, because there may come a time when you are no longer able, maybe because of an illness or something, and then you are not able to make decisions. So what will happen is that when you have a power of attorney, what you are doing is that you are giving that person that power to act in your stead. So in the event that any of those things happen, you know that you are protected. Why? Because you have somebody who you can trust to make decisions for you, or to take decisions for you. I have seen elderly people who, while they were younger and working, everything was well, and suddenly they had dementia. And it was difficult, to make decisions, because there was nothing like a power of attorney, to help the person. So it's good that you structure your life, your family's future, in such a way that they are protected legally and financially. Another thing you can do is to set up a family trust, especially for people who have little children as well, or you have children who have special needs. A family trust is important for you to legally protect your family, especially your little children, your children who have special needs, or people who cannot ordinarily make decisions for themselves. So I also want to say at this point that another thing you can do is also to have a backup plan. Just play that scenario in your head, which sometimes I counsel some of people that come to me and I speak with. I tell them, okay, create a plan, have a scenario in mind whereby you are no longer around, and then do things. See how these people will function when you are no longer around, so that you can put things in place and see where there is a lacuna or a loophole, and while you are still alive, you can make corrections, you can rectify such lacuna. Another thing I want to say about the legal foundation, which is the final thing for the legal aspect, is that you must have a will. I laugh here because people think that when I say to them, have a will, there is this fear that am I going to die? No, you're not going to die. But it is a way of ensuring that the things that, you have worked for, the things that you have accumulated, that you have, they're able to be given according to your wish, according to your desire. That is what the will is all about. It says where your things are. It says who you want to inherit something. It tells you how you want, even yourself, this is the way I want this thing to be done. Oh, maybe you have so and so property. Oh, I want this property to go to that person. I want that person to go to that person. One of the negative sides of not having a will is that the custom, a person that dies without a will, we say in law that the person has died intestate. That means no will. So what will happen is that when such happens, it means that it is the custom of that man that will come into play. Because where there is a will, the law will ensure that the man's property are distributed, his desires are carried out according to his wishes. But where there is no will, it means that the law will step in and say, okay, how will we settle this thing? So if what you wanted to do was to gift somebody this, the law will not look at that. The law will come into place and put into place what the law says it should be. So if, for instance, somebody who, this is just an example which we see almost on a regular basis. A man marries, he marries, not even a statutory marriage, maybe under the customary law. He marries, the man dies, he dies without a will. What happens? It means that how the man's property will be decided or divided is according to the custom of the man. Is that the way you want your things to be distributed? At this point, I want to hear from you. What do you say to the things that I've said, the strategies? Which one do you have a problem with? Do you have a challenge with? Or which one do you think is not so clear? Maybe you need clarification. I'm here to explain further. I also want to ask you, if you have reached this place, gotten here with me, please, I want to encourage you to subscribe to Money Matters with Modupe. I want you to like this video. I want to read your comments. And please, I want you to also share. This is an educative platform. We give information. We speak on things that will help you legally, financially. Once again, please like, please share. I want to read from you. If you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe. And if you are a returning subscriber watching me live now, or you're going to be watching this replay, I want to say a very, very big thank you to you. So the conclusion of all that I have been saying is that you should please put your house in order. Is that you should please, certainly, thank you so much. You're definitely subscribing for more content. Thank you. And I also want to hear from you. What are the things that you want me to talk about? I just don't want to be the one, bringing up topics for myself. What are the things you want me to speak about? Because I intend to be coming live every Saturday morning. And also, I have so many contents on this channel. So please start putting your house in order. It doesn't matter how old you are. Put your house in order. Protect that family, your children. Protect them. Investment, insurance, setting up a trust and retirement program. I would like to put that down. Investments, insurance, setting up trust and retirement program. You look forward to extensive teaching on this. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate the fact that you are here with me this morning. Please, if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe. Help me to share this video as well to as many men as you can. Even as we celebrate the Father's Day, let the fathers know that, look, it is not just enough to provide for us now, but it's also important that you protect the future of your family financially, legally, and leave a legacy, because you know that a righteous man, a man should leave an inheritance for his children's children. But what will happen to the things that you have worked for if you have not secured your the things you have worked for financially and legally? Because you know that in law, ignorance of the law is not an excuse. You have to do it legally for you to secure the future of your family. You need to also put your finances in place for you to also ensure that there is a solid foundation. So at this point, I want to say a very, very, very big thank you to everyone who have joined me on this live this morning. And so I will drop more content, and also during the course of the week, I will drop 3 contents during the course of the week. I'll speak on some of the things that have come up here, and then next Saturday we'll also come, have another live and speak. I think I'll take one of this that my brother has, Polytev resources that you have. Please let me know where you are watching from. Please let me see where you're watching from. So I'll take one of these and speak on it extensively on Saturday by the grace of God. So once again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you at the top. If you need to get more clarification, I will put my number and my email address so that you can contact me. I also consult as well. I also can put you through one-on-one as well. So until next week for another lifetime, another live session, and also while I put on more videos, thank you so much for watching. Remember, put your house in order, protect your family financially and legally. Thank you. Be wise. You are taking the step towards this wisdom. Happy Father's Day. Thank you so much, you men, for all that you do for us. We love you. We appreciate you. God bless you. And we'll see you at the top. Bye. Thank you.